And we are back with more Genshin Impact 3.1. King Deshret and the Three Magi. We'll be continuing where we left off in the previous stream last Thursday with... would help if I had the quest marker set up right. Revisiting that one person who may have been lying to us. Or at least not telling us the whole truth.
Miss Shawnee, as we discussed earlier, I've brought someone with me.
Mr. Alhaitham, I'm aware of where you stand, but how can I make sure that your friends think the same as you?
Huh? What do you mean? We need to clarify our stance or something?
Go ahead and talk to her. You'll get the answers you want. Go on. Earn her trust.
Is it really that simple?
May I call you Traveler?
Of course. Everyone
hi,
does.
Traveler. I want to ask you something. Do you think the resurrection of the Scarlet King can truly change Sumeru for the better?
I'm not sure.
Why's that?
Well, yeah, because of the conflict.
That's very similar
Honestly,
to what
I
Miss
don't
Candace
think it's
says.
a terrible idea.
I know you two are friends.
But I don't think it's a great idea.
That's why I'm willing to talk to you, even though I do have some reservations. Before, I wouldn't even have the courage to ask something like this. Traveler, do you believe our lives will get better?
That's a tricky one. I think it's possible.
Yeah! We came here from another nation, so it isn't wrong of you to be weary. And we aren't really residents of any one nation.
Hell, we're not even residents of this
But
world,
even
technically.
so,
But we are
met
now,
lots
but...
of people from different places, and we've always fought for what we believed in. We have friends in Sumeru, and we want to help them. That's why we decided to stay here for a while.
Well, yeah. If all we cared about was finding our sister, we'd have met Nahida, found out she couldn't help us, and left.
My apologies
but
for
we didn't.
posing my questions like that. To be honest, I didn't expect you to come back for more information.
Alhaitham told us you have your reasons. It's okay. We understand.
The fact is that only one side of my family is desert folk. I don't really fit in anywhere in Sumeru.
And you're dressed in red and green.
Some believe in the Dendro Archon.
I wonder if that's
while
symbolism.
Others believe in the Scarlet King.
Could be coincidence.
I don't belong to either side, and neither side would want me.
Why not believe in both?
Which,
or neither?
Radicals mentioned that they despise traitors. Do they just think that anyone who's different from them is a traitor?
Yeah. Some people can be so narrow-minded when it comes to bloodline and beliefs. It makes no difference what I say or how I behave. I'll always be suspected of having ulterior motives. Slowly, I just stopped talking to people. I pretended not to hear or see anything. All I want is to live my life in peace. And then it happened. The village keepers who had helped me disappeared with no explanation, and I didn't dare breathe a word about it to anyone. Until now.
You can tell them. I'm sure he'll keep your secret.
All right. I'll tell you what I told Alhaitham.
Yeah.
I actually have a sharper sense of hearing than most. Sometimes, I hear strange crying sounds in the night.
So maybe they haven't gone that far.
Ghosts?
Perhaps. I'm not sure. It's faint, but it's definitely the sound of crying. It comes from far away in the distance, and always carries very raw emotion. It used to be louder and more frequent, but ever since you arrived in the village, it doesn't seem to happen as often, and when it does, it's much quieter. I have to focus really hard to make it out.
I confirmed this with the guards on night duty. They also have someone with a good ear, and he's heard similar sounds at night. But, because we're in the middle of a desert, he would rather believe that they are the cries of beasts than ghosts.
Yeah, do we have a direction for this?
There's really nothing around these parts, except for an old hospital not far from the village.
I think they used to use it for treating Elazar, but it's been abandoned for years.
All the more reason that we should check it out. Sounds like the perfect place for outlaws to set up shop. Or hide people they don't want to be found. Woo! Crystal fly! Sandstorm's picking up. Perhaps Venti thought it would be funny to give us a strong wind for dramatic tension. I choose to blame the sandstorm on Venti for no apparent reason. That'll teach you for not letting me ever pull you in the on the banners. Yes. Well, this is ominous.
Sounds good to me.
The wind knows.
And it's full of outlaws. Who could have seen that coming?
I'll uproot you. One with nature.
Oh, this one. Sorry about that.
With wind and cloud.
Allow me.
Got my Kokomi up to level 80 now. I've been busy.
So this is the thrill of adventure.
Oh, is this the place? It's in terrible shape, and there's sand everywhere.
Well, its course rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. What are you
Place to
expecting?
hide people.
There is no escape.
Can't see. Let's nip that in the bud.
Illusion shattered.
So my team comp hasn't really changed much since the last stream. I've been experimenting with Kokomi ever since I got her, and what I've done is I've slotted her into Noelle's usual position in the exploration team, so that I can use her to perform bloom reactions and generally just be.
Watch out!
Because basically I can bloom into hyper bloom while also still using. Ooh, there's something down there. Have to check that out in a moment.
Shine down.
But yeah, if I set up right, I can use Kokomi to apply Hydro, and then I can bloom into Hyper Bloom while also using quicken reactions to improve the damage.
There is no
It's a
escape.
bit more damage at the cost of not having shield.
Now you shall perish.
It's always so satisfying when that initial strike kills something.
One with nature.
Muso no Hitotsuki is very difficult to block after all. Only one person has ever done it. I wonder where they could be right now.
Shine down.
Rebuild.
Enshroud. One thing after another. I'll uproot you.
They were easier to deal with than Paimon had expected.
Yeah, what were you expecting?
Super strong bandits? Or monsters taller than buildings dropping out of the sky? Or, something like that.
What do you think this is? Honkai Impact?
He looks super serious. We gotta stay on our A game too.
Al Haytham always looks serious.
This is the one.
Ooh. Ah, yeah, don't show us your fighting style. That'd be too easy.
Let's go in and take a look.
Paimon, why are you still surprised?
Hey, Haytham, we haven't found Squad. Are you sure we aren't wasting our time here?
I think what we need to do is break that thing out front and
Shawnee
have a look
says she
below.
only hears the crying at night. We have time to burn. Until then, I'm taking a break.
Hey, you do you.
And just like that, he sits down. Wait, he even brought a book to read?
I want to know
What
what's
are you
in that
reading?
book.
Let Paimon see.
Okay, sure.
Huh? The natural position, which is the positional propensity of an entity in natural motion, in contrast with an object in forced motion? Huh? When free from external influences, every entity displays the tendency to follow its natural trajectory?
The traveller's face in the
So,
background.
You got that?
It's Newton's law, right?
Paimon gives up. You keep reading your book. See ya. How is he so relaxed? Look at him, reading an impossible book in a creepy place like this.
Yeah, spread your wings, become learned.
Hey, what good is that gonna do for you? You're acting like one of those annoying grown-ups who go around nagging people to focus on their studies.
This is a hilarious
Hey,
dialogue
what
option.
gives? Shouldn't you be the one providing for Paimon?
Already am.
Right. Thank you for working so hard and earning so much more. If it weren't for you, Paimon would probably still be floating around in the ocean somewhere.
We keep bringing this up, but why were you in the ocean?
Paimon's getting so sleepy. Huh? What was that sound?
There it is. It's coming from that direction.
Is it coming from the thing in the floor that I saw we could break?
Is the sound coming from here? Huh. Paimon's not seeing anything.
Or just under that thing? Because that looks like a trapdoor if I ever saw one.
It's from below.
But there's no way we can get down there.
Something is off about the interior here. As I thought, there's a hidden structure.
Wow. It's like they tucked another hospital into this one.
And it's got these
Looks
weird
like there
sand
are other
barriers.
mechanisms around here. Let's keep exploring.
Oh, investigate the elemental monuments around the hospital. Okay. I'll see them easier with element. Yep. If one opened the door, then the others probably open the secret doors. Yep, it's sealed by enemies. Shouldn't be a problem.
Into the wind. Can't see. Let's nip that in the butt. The wind knows me.
There is no escape.
One with the forest.
Okay, I need to remember to actually heal Tignari.
Keep up. I'll uproot you. Into the wind. Clouds high. The birds come.
There we go. that, I can activate the second monument. And then I just have to head over here and climb over to the other side where the third monument is. You know what? Wait, there's a grapple up there. I can just... Ooh, I like this. I like a lot of the new creatures we've seen in Sumeru. They've done a really great job of expanding the kind of wildlife we can find. Oh. So presumably that's done something to the stuff in the lower levels that we saw. I'm convinced this is breakable. I just need the right setup. Maybe... Woo!
Never again.
Oh, this is new.
Allow me.
Get some healing going while I have a little look around. So this isn't the lower level of the hospital, but it is a hidden area that had a cutscene when we opened it, so... And there's scratch marks on the wall suggesting that someone was counting down to something. So... Yeah, I'm gonna go with let's go this way. And see what this leads to. Ah, a terrifying secret hilichurl camp. Of course. Peekaboo.
Let's move out.
The wind knows me. Can't see. Keep up. Let's nip that in the bud.
Take that.
One with nature.
Shine down. Inazuma shines eternal.
There we go. That's... This is a worthy detour, I think. Though I'm not really sure how much is left of King Deshret and the Three Magi. I'm assuming there's a fair bit more to the chapter, because there's still so much to solve. But I'm sure a little detour won't hurt.
Follow the wind.
Let's go ahead and do a spot of mining while we're here too. Oh, you're still alive. My bad, sorry.
The wind knows me.
There we go.
Time to go.
No, there's two paths from here, and that's a scorpion, I think. Wow, the scorpions, they curl up like armadillos. It's actually kind of cool.
One with the forest.
Didn't know scorpions... you know, I don't know if real scorpions do that, obviously, but... Still a really cool detail for the Sumeru scorpions.
Keep up.
This entire area isn't even the right direction for the damn quest, but it's great. I like how many levels there are to the desert. Like, you've got the desert itself, you've got the oasis in the town, you've got the pyramids off in the distance, and you've got all these underground caves and ruins to find.
There is no escape.
Fallen leaves. Adorn my nook. One with the forest. I'll uproot.
Not being hugely accurate with Tignari's arrows, if I'm honest. While they do a lot more damage if you do land them straight on, the homing on the splinter shots is really good.
Who says there aren't benefits to a life of wandering?
It's even stronger on the Tanglevine shaft, which, when I was experimenting with it, was able to track... I think it tracked some teleporting mages at one point.
One with nature.
Huh. And then there's just dead hilichurls here that aren't part of the... that aren't the ones we killed, so... Okay, am I missing something really obvious here? I don't think so. Okay. I'm gonna double back, we're gonna look down the other path. I'm guessing that maybe there was a cave-in and they all got separated, and it would have had to be fairly recent for some of them to still be alive. But why wouldn't they have dug their way out? Hilichurls are pretty strong.
The wind knows me.
Shine down!
Can't see? Keep up.
This is the downside to not having Noelle on the team, of course, is that I also don't have someone who can break those easily. Which isn't a huge deal most of the time, but does restrict my options somewhat.
Illusion shattered!
Allow me.
Enshroud! I hear everything! Smells like something good is inside. The wind knows me.
Just getting some really good loot from all this as well. So there's a path that way, and there's a path up here. Going up.
One with the forest.
We will get back to King Deshret and the Three Magi, but this does need exploring.
Time to go.
That was probably unnecessary. Okay, let's get you guys together.
One with nature.
Then I can just go. That's always fun. Shame nothing was allowed to get hit by the homing shot at the end, but... yeah.
Into the wind.
Okay, where the hell are we that this gets a cutscene? Okay. Well, this is an interesting little side area to have to deal with. Oh, God forgives all. Didn't realise there was a message. Were there any other messages I've just run past without noticing? So, was this like an escape tunnel dug by some of the village keepers to... If you're still willing to accept this unworthy believer, Abbas, as your own, please show yourself to me. So maybe some of them have attempted escape already.
The wind knows me.
Splits off in so many directions.
Shine down!
Hold the line.
Can't see?
Well, I'm not going to be short on meat for a while. Looks like scorpions on the menu, boys.
Smells like something good is inside.
And a Dendroculus too. Right. Just checking if there's any other messages I missed on my way through here. Because, my gosh, there's a lot of stuff here. So did the Hilichurls move in after
Time to go.
the escape tunnel was dug? Is this even an escape tunnel? I mean, this isn't a Hilichurl tent, so presumably. Oh, we can cook here if we want.
Time to go.
Ah, no easy way out of this chair. Yeah, I'm not, that's gonna be a pain to climb, I'm just gonna teleport. But I wonder if that's connected to the plot, or if that's just an additional detail of like, oh no, they were trying to get out, this is fucked up. Because we already know it's fucked up, obviously, but the degree of fucked upness is up for debate right now. Because they've been kidnapping them to facilitate the prophecy about the Scarlet King and the misinformation. But how does this all interconnect? Okay, keep an eye out for an ancient key while we're down there. Be back in a moment. The dog seems excited about something. And we're back. Sorry, there was someone walking past on the other side of the road, and the dog decided, hey, I'm gonna get all whiny about it because I'm excited by people being around. Which is fair enough, to be really fair. Abbas, same person who was mentioned on the tunnel. Once found, immediately informed, stay positive, all beings are under the watchful eye of the divine. Balanced diet, rest regularly, maintain a good mood. Minty bean soup, tachin, curry shrimp panipuri. Salad, biryani, fish with cream sauce and potato boat. Shashuka and bean cake. Remaining sections are blank. So are these notes and Abbas from the old hospital or from the current? Why is Tuesday censored? That seems deliberate. For Evan.
Look! There's someone over there! Good idea! Let's approach him slowly without alarming him.
Yeah. What's that thing in the left? Is that just roots, or...?
You're...
He can't speak, and his eyes are unfocused. But he looks too young to be anyone's grandfather.
So he's not the one we're looking for, but...
Why is he the only one here?
Yes, that.
Didn't expect to see him here.
You know him?
He's Razak, a senior of mine at the academia.
He's a scholar too? Is he the kind that holes up in a forest and mumbles stuff about training?
No. And that's the problem. Razak was never involved in any of those things. He never trained in the forest, let alone reach Satyavada life. Leaving that question aside for the moment, him being here alone means that we might be too late. Looks like they've already taken everyone away. For whatever reason, they left Razak here. Perhaps they simply didn't have time to come back for him. There are drag marks on the ground. They're clearer by the doorway. Someone was forcefully drawing a cart that was loaded with something heavy.
Loaded with people?
That is one possibility. It looks like they were in a hurry, as if they were afraid of being caught. In their haste, they failed to notice Razak hiding in a corner. The symptoms are identical. Looks like we found living proof.
Huh? Why do you say that?
So have they been
Allow me to jog your
intentionally
memory.
converting scholars like this?
Recall your time at Port Ormos. Don't you think his symptoms look familiar?
Oh crap, they've been using the divine knowledge capsules to drive people insane.
Oh, now that you mention it, they're acting the same way.
Exactly.
Correct. The academia is behind all of this. It isn't difficult to deduce their rationale. First, the academia spread a false rumor of the Scarlet King's resurrection, emphasizing the role of the village keepers, the mad scholars who were exiled to Aru village. These rumors were all the persuasion that the radicals needed, and those based in Aru village leapt into action. Unbeknownst to them, of course, through rounding up the scholars, they were actually helping the academia. As well as being able to exploit the radicals for their own ends, this scheme has one further advantage to the academia. All the risks and responsibilities are offloaded onto the Scarlet King's followers. Life for the desert dwellers has been brutal ever since the Scarlet King's death all those years ago. Beneath the surface, feelings of desperation are widespread. Many would give everything they have for the prospect of something better. Anyone looking to exploit that for their own ends simply needs to make a few empty promises. Even if complications arise, people will see that those involved are all followers of the Scarlet King and look for no further explanation than differences of belief. A deep-seated mistrust of the desert and everyone in it by the rest of Sumeru will make sure of that. The notion of an academia plot wouldn't even cross their minds. It may seem like a simple strategy, but it is able to work wonders under Sumeru's current circumstances.
Especially with their control over knowledge.
That makes a lot of sense. It's in line with the village chief's theory, too. But there's still one very important question. Wasn't it the academia that brought the scholars to Aru village in the first place? Why does it want them back now?
Throughout this process, one thing has changed. The scholars' identity. First, they were scholars. Then, they became lunatics. After that, they were exiles. And finally, they become missing persons. An exile is still patently a living, breathing human being. But when someone becomes a missing person, that is brought into question. If you can't find someone, you have no way of knowing what exactly happened to them. That makes missing people an ideal resource.
For whatever they're doing.
Resource? For what exactly?
Experimentation.
One possibility is that the information in their brains could be extracted into knowledge capsules.
Extracted? You mean canned knowledge comes from people's brains?
I mean,
with the technology of the
technically,
Sumeru Academia,
kinda.
it's entirely possible. Perhaps the process caused them great suffering, which is why they cry out in the dead of night when no one is watching them.
So, the human brain... Nope.
I'm the Academia scribe, after all. I'm familiar with their projects. Anyway, judging by Razak's state, the contents of a divine knowledge capsule were extracted from his mind. But something went wrong in the process. Or perhaps his curiosity got the better of him, and he used such a capsule for himself.
well, yeah. One of
I'm a little
those.
confused. Can they just use anyone's brain?
Oh,
The
crap.
look on your face tells me you've realized the answer. That's right. To some scholars, gaining knowledge about the gods is their entire life's pursuit. Extracting canned knowledge is just one of the extreme measures they turn to. However, I can't help but wonder, what do they seek to gain from divine knowledge? The academia is going out of their way to look for forbidden knowledge, but what is their ultimate goal? I've spent quite some time trying to analyze the contents of the divine knowledge capsule, but to no avail. It seems like my way of thinking is too different from theirs.
You mean you're not even slightly interested in getting your hands on this forbidden stuff?
Oh, he certainly is, but
All
that's not...
scholars seek to expand the horizons of knowledge, but I'm not particularly interested in gods, so I don't share their degree of zealotry. Extracting information from people as if they were lifeless objects? If this is the direction of academic progress, then the academia may as well shut its doors.
Sounds like you're really against all this.
Of course he is.
Of course. The academia's actions run contrary to their rules. Whether it be academics or knowledge, everything has its boundaries. If those lines are crossed, the rules and order that govern everything in the world will be destroyed. This matter needs to be corrected, just like fixing a typo in a book.
Wait,
Ooh.
didn't you step in to help because you felt sympathy for those poor people?
Not to be callous, but no. My criteria are a little more restrictive than that. There is no shortage of suffering in Sumeru, and the same can be said for the rest of Teyvat as well. What do you plan to do about that? Save every last person?
We can try.
Probably not. Paimon's not sure.
Okay,
You can say that.
this is personal.
Simply put, I don't blindly place my faith into strength or heroism. I do what I want. The divine knowledge capsule is something I want to investigate in full. That doesn't mean I'm willing to take action for the sake of a few strangers.
Well, yeah.
Paimon's been wanting to say this for a while. There are a lot of bad guys in the academia, but you're not one of them. You're their weirdo.
Well, yes.
You're probably right. Though I must say, I quite enjoy this feeling of being the odd one out. Uniqueness is also an asset, is it not?
Wow, that's a great way to think about it. Paimon's really impressed. If only Miss Shani had a similar mindset, her life would definitely be a lot easier.
I'm just a more likable person than her in general. There's nothing more to it than that.
Yeah, what can we do?
He won't last long if we leave him here. Let's take him with us. We'll work out our next step after we return to Aru Village.
Yeah. Seems sensible enough. Present the information to the rest of the group, see what we've got going.
We're back!
You must be tired. You should rest and take some water.
What's the situation?
Who's this?
Unfortunately, somebody who's too young to take on the role of Isak's grandfather. Nevertheless, he's one of the people we're trying to find.
So, at one point in time, the abandoned Elazar hospital served as the academia's site for extracting divine cant knowledge.
Yep, pretty much.
Their plan must have been implemented at some point before we arrived at Aru Village, since divine cant knowledge has been in circulation for a while now. Yet, they fled once we were headed to the village, almost as if they knew we were on their trail. Why is that?
Yeah, why is that?
They
We may
seem
have a
to know
mole
where
in
we're
our
headed.
midst. One of us could be secretly revealing our whereabouts to the academia.
Huh? Are our friendships that shallow?
I don't think so.
Looks like none of you have realized wherein lies the issue. Sino, you're the reason why they can predict our movements.
Well, yes. Probably. Wait, no, actually, I don't get it.
What's that supposed to mean?
Choose your next words very carefully.
It is simply a logical inference. I have my reasons.
So what you're saying is, Sino's the mole. Interesting. And here I thought you were the most suspicious one, Al-Haytham, since you were always acting alone.
Which
I
would
know.
make sense.
You have a point, but I realized something as we were returning from the hospital. Sino isn't like any of us.
What are you trying to say?
Do you still remember who you are, General Mahamatra? As a Matra, you are no doubt privy to certain kinds of information. Before you can take action against someone, you are required to have all the facts available, including the less than savory details. Simply put, the academia has traditionally allowed you access to a wealth of sensitive information. Knowing their modus operandi, wouldn't you expect them to take precautions against you? If you want to raise a vicious wolf, you need to make sure that you can avoid its bite.
The academia is monitoring me?
It's not that simple. The academia has eyes all over Sumeru, but they have a special protocol for dealing with you. Every so often comes a Nyagarbaha Day. On this day, the academia enters new information into the Akasha through knowledge capsules. I remember seeing a thick notebook next to the control panel once. Its contents were all about the General Mahamatra, his activities throughout the day, preferred methods of enacting judgment, everything.
You're saying that the academia entered my information into the Akasha too?
Yes.
But what's the point in doing that? My actions aren't important enough to be added into the Akasha.
The Akasha is capable of computation.
Oh.
The Akasha's algorithms are entirely capable of predicting your movements using the data entered. When you would depart, the route you would follow, your destination. It knew all of this.
It predicted my every move.
The academia has been watching you longer than you think.
So that's how it is. Sino adheres to his principles so strongly that he's actually a thorn in their side. Tenacity of will and steadfast faith are worthless to the academia. They need scholars who are easily pliable and mindlessly go after anything they can profit from.
Well, yeah.
Sino,
That
don't
seems
take
to
it
be the way
hard.
they've been doing it.
This just proves how much of a trustworthy ally you are.
They escaped because of me.
Don't blame yourself. It's not like any of us would have known.
Exactly. We only just worked this out.
I have an idea. If they predicted my movements, then I might be able to guess where they went.
Whoa, you bounced back fast.
There is always an opportunity for safety after danger passes.
Oh, so that's how it is! Paimon gets it now. If the academia is trying to avoid Sino, then the safest place would be...
Exactly.
Yep, that's right!
They'll want to proceed in the direction opposite of where I'm going. I must go.
There's also something I want to investigate.
Let's go, guys! After him!
Please, wait! I want to go too!
Isak, this is one thing that you
You want to
probably
go
shouldn't
too?
do.
If so,
This isn't going to be
you have
pleasant.
to promise you'll stay safe.
I want to find Grandpa. I promise I'll be careful and not cause any trouble.
Everyone, I leave him in your hands.
This is a bad idea, Candace.
Remember to pack some food with you! Paimon feels like we're missing someone, though.
Yeah, Daya. Where's Daya right now?
I'll be awaiting your good news.
It's a shame Candace can't come with us.
Please, stay safe, everyone.
Yes. After leaving the village, we should head straight toward the desert.
Okay. The desert's all around the fucking village, though.
I know the desert like the back of my hand.
Is that because you play here a lot?
Yep. One time, Grandpa almost got lost in the desert, but I was the one who brought him back.
There's something here. What's this?
It's buried in the sand. Looks like we'll need to roll up our sleeves and do some work.
And Paimon thought running around everywhere was already enough work. Okay. So, we have to dig it out? Whatever's down there, it looks like it's buried really deep.
These are likely fragments of an academia-developed device, something akin to a headset.
It does look like
Looks
it.
like there were
It's
more
probably
than
what
one
they
village
use to
keeper.
extract things.
They must have been escorted this way, because there are device fragments scattered around here. Let's split up and search the area. Chances are that we'll find other things nearby.
Is this what we're searching for? It looks kind of scary.
Looks like something
This
you
is
would use
definitely a
to,
device used to extract divine knowledge.
How did it end up buried in the sand? That can't have been part of the plan. They must have been attacked along the way.
Wait, what?
maybe all of their work to stir up the King's, the Scarlet King's followers has backfired on them somewhat.
Razak didn't display any signs of starvation or dehydration, which means that they left fairly recently.
We should be able to catch up.
One more thing. Given that the device had been entirely covered by sand, I believe the attack must have happened prior to the sandstorm.
Let's keep going. They can't have gone far.
Ugh, but running on sand is so tiring.
But
Amen to
you're
that.
flying, aren't you, Paimon? Is flying over sand tiring too?
Well, yeah.
Ugh, of course it is.
How does that work? Do you propel yourself off the ground somehow, and thus need to push off of something, making an unstable surface more difficult to maneuver on? Is that why you can only hover? Is that how that works? Am I thinking too much? Am I thinking about this way too much? Probably.
Voices, over there. Don't get any closer. They'll notice us.
Dia's talking with the Eremites? Very interesting. Let's listen in.
If you had informed me sooner, there'd be plenty of room for us to...
You're one of us. We would never lie.
Scholars. You don't know as much as I do. Need me to...
I knew it. That's our Dia.
Dia? Why would you... Dia!
Hey, what are you doing?
Huh?
Didn't you say you'd help me find Grandpa? Why are you on their side?
Well, look who's here. Ain't that something?
This complicates things.
You've betrayed Aru Village?
So, this is the great General Mahamatra. Dear, you'd be better off as my assistant than hanging around with this motley crew. Seen for yourself, I have the means and methods, and my ideals are far more admirable than theirs.
I'm not the type that's easily swayed, Raman. You of all people should know that.
Wait, what's going on, Dia? Whose side are you on here?
Yes, is the answer to that question.
Shut it, Paimon.
It doesn't matter. Whichever side you pick, nothing could deter us from the grand mission of resurrecting the Scarlet King.
Yep, the scholars fucked
Once our
up.
Lord of Old returns to this land, we will have a new beginning.
Face the facts, Raman. It's not gonna happen. You should understand that more than anyone. Have all your years as a merc taught you nothing about placing hopes in a ruler?
I'm a desert dweller and a proud follower of the Scarlet King. Whether I live by the edge of the sword or in peaceful comfort, my soul will always carry this conviction.
It's not too late yet. The village mad scholars aren't gonna bring the Scarlet King back to life.
You don't understand, my dear lady. Pursuing our faith is our purpose in life.
The chance?
Even if the chance of success is 1 in a million,
it isn't 1 in a million. It's not even that.
Even if it'll expose you to the academia? Even if they end up disbanding the Eremites? Your Eremites, which you've worked so hard for all these years?
Yes. We've waited a long time for this day to come. The sun and the moon no longer shine here. All you see now is cracks in this desiccated land. But fate has finally dealt me a hand to play against the academia. With these scholars in our custody, we'll stomp the academia's forces and fight our way beyond the wall of Samiel.
Ridiculous. Think about it. The academia controls the entirety of Sumeru. Your powers are negligible in comparison. If you still don't believe me, then try asking these 2 men. They're also against the academia, but neither of them are as arrogant as you are.
They look more like pawns of the academia to me. Why would I listen to anything the people of Greater Lord Rukkhadevada have to say? Filthy traitors. Your god abandoned all honor and betrayed the Scarlet King. We desert dwellers will never trust the likes of you.
It's impossible to communicate with someone so hostile. Perhaps we should.
Do you really believe that by kidnapping the scholars, you'll be able to negotiate with the academia? These people have no value as bargaining chips, but I could be persuaded to take their place as your next hostage. These scholars were exiled from the academia. I, on the other hand, am their current scribe, and will be a much greater asset to you.
Wait, you can't be serious.
So, you want to trade places with the hostages, do you?
Precisely. Any wise person would gladly accept my offer.
What are you thinking? What if they decide to kill you instead?
Well, that would be bad luck for me.
Indeed.
However, I'd get the chance to observe the scholars, perhaps even find out the truth.
And wouldn't that be worthwhile?
Think you can talk me over with that confident look of yours?
I'm not trying to persuade you. I'm using this as a means of joining forces against the academia.
You are the scribe. What do you have against the academia?
Not all desert dwellers believe in the Scarlet King, and the same applies to the academia. Why must all knowledge seekers approve of the academia's way of doing things?
You academia scum. Every last one of you is nothing but a hypocrite, just like everyone else on the other side of that wall. I've made myself
God damn it, you're an idiot.
I won't listen to another word from the Dendro Archon's people.
Not so fast. I'll hate them. Do you stand by everything you just said?
I never make empty promises.
You know you're making a dangerous decision, right?
I do.
Good. Raman, hear me out. These people are my friends. Maybe you can't take the followers of the Dendro Archon at their word, but what about me? Do you trust me?
We've known each other for years. Of course I do.
In that case, I'm willing to vouch for their honesty with my right arm. Come on, Raman, don't be a coward. If you're serious about taking on the academia, you need to steel yourself. You can't be afraid.
An arm from the Flame Mane. You've piqued my interest. But what if you refuse to oblige? What should I do then? No one's a fool here, Dia. We're mercs. And mercs don't tend to live long unless they have their wits about them.
Then how have you lived so long, you dumbass?
You're not wrong, but this is different. I promised my friends that we'd bring back the village keepers together.
Let's do it right here then. Give me your right arm as proof of your resolve.
Don't listen to him! He's not even trying to negotiate!
That's fine.
Are you crazy?
We came here to save lives. One arm for that many people is still a pretty good deal, if you ask me. Rahman, I'm holding up my end of the deal here. You'd better not let me down.
Sure. Go ahead and cut off her right arm.
No! Dia! What are you gonna do? Think of something!
You don't have to go this far.
That's not for you to decide.
Do it!
Dia! Run!
Stop!
What's wrong? Can't do it?
Flame Mane, you and I are both desert folk. Cutting off your arm is no different than cutting off my own fingers. Where's the sense in cutting my own kin to pieces?
Dia knew what she was doing.
You've shown me that you're serious. Go on now, take your friends and leave. Meet me in the desert at noon tomorrow.
Now, what does that mean in terms of...
Phew. I was really counting on him not going through with it.
Dia! That was crazy! Have you all lost your minds? What if he'd actually cut your arm off?
Then I just have to hold my claymore with my left arm.
Dia being a badass.
Okay, I'm sorry. But sometimes when you're out on a limb, you gotta double down to seal the deal, you know?
Don't ever make a promise like that again. I can deal with the likes of them. If it came down to it, you would not lose to them either.
I don't doubt it, Sino. But this is about more than me and them. There's a lot more where they came from. Even if we got rid of one bunch of radicals, there are others out there. Wiping them out would do more harm than good.
As you wish.
I'm sorry, Dia. I should have stayed put and listened.
It's okay. I promised you I'd help find your grandpa.
Whatever it takes? You just might be scholar material.
Huh? Are you serious?
The Eremites once said that I was a lunatic.
Why does it feel like he's using his praise for me as an excuse to brag about himself?
Yeah, that is just how he is.
Let's get moving. We should head back to the village and rest up. Today was just a trial run. Noon tomorrow is gonna be the hard part.
Prisoner exchange. It's never gonna be good. While I'm here... Okay, so we learnt that someone got away from the hospital. That's what that achievement was for. Let's do a little wait. Not quite sure what counts as the start and end of a day for the purposes of this clock, so I'm going to just spin it a bit. That should do it. Now, we head out, kick some ass, and carry on as normal. I am just going to go real quick and sort out that thing that just beeped. But then, we have so much to work on. And we're back.
The scenery is
Let's
wonderful.
do this.
Surely enough to convince anyone to become a wanderer.
You're all here so early.
Looks like we have everyone here.
I'll watch from a safe distance. Dia, I want to be there to bring Grandpa home.
Okay, let's go then.
Dia, wait.
What's the matter?
I heard that you were quite reckless yesterday. No more of that today, understood? Or I'll be very upset with you.
Fine.
I like Candace a lot. She's great. Right, whereabouts is the agreed location? Oh, way out in the desert, past the Mausoleum of King Deshret. Which is a pretty spooky place, I gotta say. Let's get moving. Huh. I suppose that makes getting over there a little easier. If it's anything like what we've seen with some of the other dead gods, it's plausible that King Deshret could come back. But the shit the Academia's been pulling, that's a bit different. Is that just a hilichurl with a torch? No. I did a little scouty around this area because I got curious. I wanted to know what the deal was with the giant glowy pyramid of death. And I couldn't find a way in. I found a lot of force fields, a lot of barriers, a lot of obstacles preventing me from actually entering the Tomb of King Deshret. Which I guess makes sense, really. It's weird that they're asking us to just meet behind it like this. It's weirdly casual. Like, oh yeah, just come to the giant glowy pyramid in the middle of the desert, it'll be fun. That strikes me as odd. Might just be me overanalyzing, but I feel like... Also, the weather got worse as soon as we got near the pyramid. And I just feel like there's something here we're missing. Like, is this just normal for Sumeru? Does no one comment on the fact this pyramid is always glowing and terrifying? Or is there something legitimately unusual going on here? It's hard to tell. And it's pretty spooky. See, and now we're mostly in the clear. Now it's just sunny, a little way out from there. And it's one of these. I do not care for the stupid barriers that show up. They are, to put it bluntly, a pain in the arse.
They got here before us.
Anyone surprised by that at all?
Is it because Paimon overslept by 5 minutes and held everyone up?
Is everything ready?
Absolutely. Although, you brought fewer people than I imagined.
Bring him over.
Grandpa!
There he is.
Only one of them.
Raman, I've always thought of you as a man of his word. What's this about?
It's plausible that they only had one, but oh
Sounds
dear.
fair, don't you think?
Oh
Let me
dear,
put
dear,
it this
dear.
way. Agreeing to any kind of deal with the Dendro Archon's people is already a huge compromise on my part. Don't you think you've asked enough?
Don't you think you're a prick?
You stay right there!
Oh dear. Using just the wasted right sword too.
What do you think you're doing? Don't you see this blade here? You coward! Why are your hands shaking? Wait a second! It's a earthquake!
And now things get worse. Wait, Nahida?
Paimon's dizzy.
Well, prisoner exchange went better than
This day's
expected.
going just great.
What a nuisance.
The sand dune collapsed. I saw an energy field. The village keeper protected us. It glowed green with dendro. Just like you said, it may well have been the remains of Lesser Lord Kusanali's power inside the scholar's body.
Okay. Okay, that makes more sense, because we know she's trapped.
The dendro archon. The present one.
Grandpa? Grandpa? Oh no. He's getting confused again.
Hey, look around you.
Did there used to be a temple here?
Seems that way, doesn't it?
It seems that when the sand dune collapsed, it exposed these underground structures. The symbols on the gate belong to the Scarlet King's civilization. This structure must be ancient. Over time, the sandstorms completely buried it and left it in the state we see now.
Yeah.
It could have been an underground palace in the distant past.
Oh, a miracle. Praise the Scarlet King!
What's he doing here? And his men too?
They must have fallen down here with us. Most of them seem in really bad shape, except for him.
Mind your head.
No, this isn't the time for conflict. Our exalted lord has shown us the way to his sacred palace.
Oh, you're full of
He's
shit.
not actually gonna go in there, is he?
As it happens, I want to take a look inside too.
Well, yeah. Curiosity and all that.
Don't you think it's curious? 1 minute, Lesser Lord Kusanali's power protects us from harm, and the next, remnants of the Scarlet King's civilization appear.
It's almost
Two
like they're
major
connected
deities
somehow.
are vying to showcase their power to us. It would be a shame not to witness them both.
Well, certainly.
I thought you weren't interested in gods.
Indeed. In my view, gods are just a higher form of living being. Or creature, you could say. New discoveries are always worth investigating. Whether they have anything to do with gods is neither here nor there.
Quite.
Raman, what are you gonna do about your men?
I'll just let them lay here. The Scarlet King will take care of his people.
You really are just an
But
asshole,
now,
aren't you,
I'm
Raman?
going inside.
Well, I'm gonna check on them anyway.
Rest, rebuild.
I know it won't actually heal them, but feels good and I need the healing. Raman might not give a shit, but we do.
Time to go.
Let's enter the ruins. Recommended fire, lightning, and ice. Eh? We can do that. Yeah, let's just throw some
Stay
lightning into the
close and
steam
you
and then
will
we're good.
live.
It's not perfect, but it'll do nicely. Greenery beneath the desert.
Here. This defies comprehension. It looked completely desolate from the outside. Yet, it flows with energy inside.
Yeah! And there's so many plants. It's so pretty!
Sir Rahman.
I'll admit I didn't see this coming.
Huh? Me?
Do you see another Rahman here?
Are you mocking me?
Interpret it however you want. But there's something I'd like to draw your attention to. While this structure is clearly left over from the Scarlet King civilization, the energy that flows in here is that of the Dendro Archon.
Whatever you say. It's not like I have a vision.
There's nothing to be angry about. Think of this as an academic journey.
It does seem kinda strange. If that's true, then we might have to explore this whole area to find an explanation.
Yeah. Let's see what's in here, shall we? But it does raise the question, if they really were enemies and betrayed each other, then why do their two styles exist in harmony deep beneath the sands? Huh. Okay, it's a puzzle of some kind. What the? Look up at the hall as a mortal and listen to King Deshret's holy guidance. Okay. Maybe I'm taking look up a bit more literally. Or maybe it means, wait, yeah, because the one that lit up was the one where it looks like someone's looking upwards. Okay, so you make all of them look like they're looking up. Like that. Oh, I see the problem. Haha! It's a classic rotating puzzle that activates the ancient, very technical-looking elevator, kinda. Is that King Deshret? That would make sense. And that calls the elevator back, in case we need to go back. Oh dear.
There is no escape!
Time for a light show!
One change I might make to this team next time I adjust it is I want to swap the positions of the Lightning Shogun and Rosaria.
Judgment!
It's throwing off my inputs because I'm used to having Lightning Shogun on left. What a fascinating underground area we've got here.
Shine down! Now you shall perish! You can't run!
I'll freely admit my Rosario setup isn't exactly optimal or anything, but it just felt appropriate to give her the Dragon Spine Spear, and it does synergize with her if you're doing like a physical damage thing. Which I'm sort of hybridizing a bit. Actually, I don't really remember what my build for her is at the moment. I think it might be cryo damage now, actually. Maybe a bit of cryo and a bit of physical. Huh. Damn puzzle box. Okay.
No escape! Illusion shattered! Torn to oblivion! Get out of here! You can't run! Yeah! Shine down! Inazuma shines eternal! Ha! Illusion shattered! Get out of here! Judgment! Yeah! Shiver! Shine down!
Everybody stand back! What a fire hazard!
A sight to see. The Scarlet King's splendor surrounds us.
There's so much vegetation here. It's different than what I expected.
Sure are a lot of plants for a desert.
That's what I call divine providence of the
God,
Scarlet
I've been muted
King.
this whole time. I've just been talking about puzzles and discussing what we've been seeing, but... well, that's just me being incompetent, ain't it? Now we just go past here and we reach the... Sorry, that was the dogs arriving to tell me very loudly that nobody is at the door. Okay, so what is this? It kind of reminds me of the Tree of Dreams.
Oh, it looks so beautiful.
You know, from the Aranara. Are they connected
Wait.
somehow?
What's that?
A load of flowers. And it looks like there's something among them.
A tomb. This is the tomb.
These are Scarlet King runes.
They left something behind. Yes. It's an elegy written in an ancient script.
What does it say?
Here lies our faithful priest Kasala. His wisdom is a miracle among the people, deserving of high praise and admiration.
You can read ancient Scarlet King script?
Of course. Every student needs to master at least 20 languages before they graduate.
Goddamn academia show off.
There's still something off about this place. The elemental energy here is too concentrated. The scent of life. Is it trying to tell us something?
It's a good question, that.
Is this it?
Analyzing.
Oh.
There seems to be a hidden message among these skeletal remains. Excellent. There's a device from the Scarlet King's civilization in this gravesite. I'll transmit the information over and project it for everyone to see.
Isn't sharing knowledge against the Academia's rules?
Yes. However, under the circumstances, I'd prefer you to see this for yourself.
Also, the Academia are shitheads, so who cares?
You'll understand after watching it.
Civilization is born of knowledge, but so too can knowledge be its demise. A disaster caught us unaware. It was knowledge that did not belong to this world. The Scarlet King brought this forbidden knowledge into our world, and it quickly spread like a plague.
Oh dear.
People's minds were filled with crazed whispers. Dark gray scales spread across their bodies. Even the land was stripped of its vigor. Only a desperate, deathly silence remained.
The withering is
Were it
connected
not for
to...
greater Lord Rukkhadevata from the forests, the damage would have been irreversible. She summoned the priests to build temples and infused into them the divine power of life. The disaster was miraculously tempered, and the embers of our civilization were preserved in Aru village. Alas, the miracle could not last. As long as forbidden knowledge continued to exist, it would forever blight this world. In the end, the proud king of the desert, my eternal lord, chose to sacrifice himself. I have spent my whole life since guarding one of these many temples. But now, my duty is coming to an end. As I close my eyes for the final time, the sight of that noble deity will appear in my vision once more. In helping the Scarlet King to eradicate forbidden knowledge, she exhausted her strength, and her form became that of a small child. How strange. Now that I think of her, I no longer have any fear of death, for I sense that the spirit of life will abide with me during my eternal sleep. Children of the desert, cling no longer to past grievances, but hold tight to the memory of this act of benevolence.
The story got twisted over the years.
The priest's memories.
No, impossible.
Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. So the former Dendro Archon and the Scarlet King were never enemies at all.
But this doesn't make any sense. The Dendro Archon's followers, they're clearly...
Was that the former Dendro Archon? She became so tiny in the end.
You might be distrustful of the Akasha, but there's no reason for you to doubt the Scarlet King's technology. You've just witnessed his priest's last words.
I've never heard about any of this before. The surviving followers of the Scarlet King all gathered in Aru village. Our god did not make mistakes. We refused to believe any of the rumors.
No one's infallible.
The Scarlet King's death, the all but total annihilation of our civilization. It was all Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's doing. We saw her as nothing more than a traitor, who stabbed us in the back in our moment of crisis. Just like us humans. Fighting, feuding, double-crossing each other to survive in the desert.
You were blinded by your prejudice.
If I hadn't seen this for myself, how could I ever begin to accept this? The truth is so far from what I've always known. Am I really supposed to believe that after all these years, all this time seeking revenge, suddenly now my enemy is my savior?
Rahman, that's enough. Give it a rest. You're starting to make a fool of yourself.
Dia, tell me, my Eremites and I, what are we even fighting for?
Take some time, Marvan.
Hey.
It's just like with the
How
God
you
of
doing?
Salt.
I'll live. I should probably go. Can't just stay here forever.
What's your next move gonna be?
Oh, I know.
I wish we didn't have to break.
The gods never gave up on anyone. It's the people responsible for all this that need to face the consequences of their actions.
That must have been rough. But he seems to have figured things out now.
Rahman's no fool. Being the leader of your own faction in the desert is no easy feat. It's too bad he was held back by his belief in the Scarlet King. But now that that's changed, I guess we have a few more people on our side.
The outcome, at least, is favorable.
We should get going too. Let's head back, have a proper meal, and a nice, long sleep. We'll need all our energy tomorrow.
Is this a bad time to mention that
Stop yelling.
this priest was almost certainly one of Sino's ancestors?
Adventure time. Off we go.
And that's how we befriended the
Adventure time.
Alrights. And changed everything.
Rahman, we're here.
Everything's been arranged. Someone will bring the village keepers back to Aru village shortly.
I guess all I can say now is thanks for agreeing to help.
Don't mention it. I think we can both agree you went to hell and back for it. But we share a common cause now. From here on out, we're allies.
Where are the perpetrators?
I'll bring you to them. Follow me.
So these are the people who kidnapped the village keepers.
Oh no, it's the scribe!
There's no need to yell. No one can help you now.
We've been all over the desert trying to find you.
That's right.
General Mahamatra? No, no. Make it quick, please. Swift and painless.
You don't deserve swift and painless.
The moment they set eyes on Sino, they turn pale like they've seen a ghost.
You should have known that I would be coming for you.
Wait, we were just following orders. You know what I'm talking about, right? There's no way we could have done all this by ourselves.
Which is why you dare tell us
Sino.
everything.
He's gonna tear us limb from limb.
I could do worse.
Please have mercy.
Start talking.
So, your superiors have kept you quite busy recently. Why? What are they trying to accomplish?
They, wanted to extract canned knowledge.
Don't play dumb. You know what I'm really asking. They extract divine canned knowledge. Then what?
I really don't know how to explain it.
Well, you better figure it out.
Talking or you'll be sorry.
You don't want to make things any more difficult for yourself, do ya?
Be my guest.
Uh-huh. That sure didn't sound like a fancy metaphor or anything.
How did you know?
There's no use hiding it now. Yes, you're right.
Time to play our
Academia
cards.
is working on an important and potentially world-changing project. They are creating a new god. A god that will belong to them and to the people of Sumeru. It may seem as if Sumeru's academics are thriving, but ever since the death of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, scholarly breakthroughs have been few and far between. The withering of Irminsul has been getting worse recently. The sages have tried everything they could think of, but nothing's worked. I'm always hearing them say things like, if only Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was still with us.
Continue.
And then, someone from the Fatui showed up. They called him the Doctor. He brought a gnosis and said he wanted to borrow the Academia's research facilities. The Doctor was previously expelled from the Academia. At first, the sages looked down at him in disdain. But when he said those words, everyone's expression changed. He asked them, "Do you wish to create a god?"
This is what the arrogant ignorance at the extreme end of academia looks like.
First, the Academia spent a long time constructing a divine vessel, which was based on an exquisite humanoid puppet. After that, they harvested dreams via the Seb-Zerus Festival Samsara, maximizing the Akasha's output. With the Doctor's help, and the Akasha now functioning at maximum efficiency, they were able to use it to extract the power from the Gnosis and convert it into a divine core.
This is very
Next,
bad.
they decided that their new god needed to possess divine wisdom. For that to happen, they needed a huge quantity of divine canned knowledge.
It adds up.
But how do you determine whether the knowledge extracted is of divine origin?
Call it an educated guess? The Academia has been trying to figure out the exact source of the Scholar's madness for centuries, but to no avail.
It's because they connect
Nobody
to
can
Irminsul but
explain the
can't
cause of this
comprehend
phenomenon.
it.
Surely you can see what that implies, Scribe Al-Haytham. If it's knowledge no mortal can comprehend, then it must be something only gods are able to decipher. In other words, it's the source of the God of Wisdom's omniscience and omnipotence.
You're going to create a mad god that will destroy the world. I hope you know that.
You must have noticed by now. The Academia doesn't care about who their god is. It's the ability to exercise control over knowledge and wisdom that matters. It is as if they are cursed with a desire for omniscience and omnipotence that burns in their blood. Some organisms demonstrate phototaxis, and thus orient their entire lives in respect to sources of light. For the sages, their only source of hope is the existence of a deity who embodies the acme of wisdom. This is but a form of phototaxis. For many scholars, the absence of a god of wisdom means stumbling in the darkness for the duration of their lives.
They have a
Then
god
what
of
does
wisdom.
Lesser
They're
Lord
just fucking
Kusanali
idiots.
mean to you? Is she not a true god present in this world? If you already have a new god, why try to create another one?
From the beginning, the Academia has never treated her as a god. When the Academia first discovered Lesser Lord Kusanali, the newborn god of wisdom, the sages hoped that she would be as wise as Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. They found that at the time, she possessed no more intelligence than any ordinary human child. The sages never had a ruder awakening. Not to mention that Lesser Lord Kusanali's gnosis had been used to power the Akasha this entire time. By herself, she has neither an Archon's raw power, nor the spectacular insight expected of a god of wisdom. Slowly but surely, people began to forget about her existence.
So, this is the path the sages have chosen.
All right, let's try to keep our cool. If everyone's in a bad mood, then let's change up our scenery. Rahman, give me a few men to help us escort the village keepers back to the village. And these two scholars, they're coming too.
Sure, as you wish.
Maybe we should hand them over to Candace. That could be fun. Also, because there's a Dendroculus here, I'm just going to mark it before I fast travel so that I can come back later and find it. This is feeling like it's getting close to the end of the chapter, honestly.
The village keepers you found have all been returned to their homes, and each one has a dedicated caregiver to look after them. The 2 new scholars are being kept under close supervision, too. Really great work, everyone.
The atmosphere is so heavy.
Are you surprised?
Hey! Say something! Stop spacing out!
Come on, is there nothing left to talk about? In that case, let's all get some water and try to think about something else.
Or I can go fetch some snacks.
Now that sounds like a plan.
Paimon's so coming with you.
Do you have any plans, Traveler?
Gods above, you're not talking about work, are you?
Yeah, it's high time that we share all of the information.
So you were still withholding some information?
Well, we had to know that we were all in this together.
Even though we lived through all of this firsthand, it still feels super surreal to hear you talk about it again.
What a whirlwind of a story.
Crazy.
I felt like I was holding my breath the whole time.
It seems like there will be more issues to face in the days ahead than I'd anticipated.
Still, now's a good time to make our next move. Now that Ramon's joined us, we'll be an even stronger team.
It's time to make a plan.
Indeed. These events are a flagrant transgression of the rules in every sense. We cannot allow it to continue.
Good to see you two on the same page.
Are we on the same page?
Crush the sages and rescue our god. That is our ultimate goal.
Well, let's brainstorm a little more about what other resources we can draw on.
The next time we gather here, we must have a solid plan.
Yep, it'll work out for sure.
Plan a rescue, defeat the Balladeer, so much to do. But that is where the story ends for now.
Don't rush. This is a big undertaking, and the planning and preparation for what lies ahead will no doubt take some time. Take it slowly. We need to make sure the plan is as effective as possible.
He's starting to read his book again. Hey, are you even listening?
Would you like me to lend you something to read?
No way! Your books aren't quite to Paimon's tastes.
I was joking. I know my books are far too difficult for you, and I have no intention of lending them out.
He's an asshole, but he's our asshole.
In the past, I never imagined that even the gods could suffer from hardship. If we can find a way to change all of this, will this nation become a better place?
It has to, right?
The past few days have been some of the most challenging work I've ever taken on, and none of it'll earn me a single mora. I can't believe it.
Look on the bright side, Dia. Maybe we'll get a huge reward after this is all over.
Here's hoping.
You've got a point. Hey, what would you do if you woke up tomorrow with more money than you could ever spend?
Paimon would buy boatloads of tasty snacks.
That's it?
And maybe some tasty drinks as well?
How adorable. Well, here's to all our indulgent fantasies. If there's a chance they can come true, I'll give it my best shot. And here's hoping that everything we do from now on will change this world for the better.
You must let me know if there's anything I can do to help. Though I cannot leave Aru Village,
I can't help but feel stirred when I see the looks in your eyes. I've never felt as roused as this when fighting alone in the past. I suppose this must be the power of camaraderie.
And with that, the story ends for now. See you all next time for more Genshin Impact.